Hey, y'all. Adam Hoots here, coming to you with the Skilled Trades Alliance. I'm fired up today. It's our first podcast of many, launching it with two of my best friends from the Skilled Trades Alliance. It's what's brought us together. We all share a passion. We all came from the trades, and we are so excited to bring the trades to you, educate you about wonderful workforce programs. In this podcast, we're calling it Building the Workforce. Want to do a quick introduction. We want to tell you what the Skilled Trades Alliance is, why it's so important to the world. Then we're going to dive in and give you our personal trade stories. Without further ado, Al, can you do a quick introduction for us? Tell the people who you are.
Professor of practice in construction sciences and management, came up working in the trades, using cameras like this and gauges, and don't mind us smiling so much right now because, you know, the trades are fun, and that's what we're doing. We're having fun right now doing a podcast. That's what the Skilled Trades Alliance promotes. We're trying to push the narrative, encouraging people, getting them out there. We're all from the trades. We all love the trades. I'm going to do trades work tomorrow again because I want to, not because I have to.
Boom. What's going on, y'all? Jesse Hernandez here. I am a salsa dancing, podcasting second generation plumber, and I'm here to enhance the image of careers in the trades, and just like super lucky to have been invited to be a part of the Skilled Trades Alliance. And I'm down for whatever it is we going to be bringing.
Well, we're going to be bringing the heat, Jess. You know how we do. When Big Al, Jess, and Hoots get together, we bring that heat, baby. I'm curious, Al, why are the skilled trades important? Why are we together? Why are we doing this podcast?
Nothing happens in the economy without construction. So without, everything stops. Construction helped save my life, coming from a broken home, and it wasn't like a norm growing up in certain areas, running with certain types, and it gave me the opportunity to actually get into a trade. Someone said, hey, you're going to work hard. I went and I worked hard, and I turned myself into a professional. I was paid to get training, to get an education, right, on the job.
Earn while you learn, baby.
I earned while I learned, and I got, it was fantastic. Sometimes people don't look at tradespeople like they're professionals. Well, hell yeah, they are.
They better.
Right?
You don't want Big Al on you not looking at us as professionals right now. Let me tell you that.
Hey man, I always conducted myself in the right way. I wish I had references that could jump in here right now and talk about me over the last 20 years and say, he did, he's not lying, he did, he's great, right?
Get him on here. Let's go find him, bring him on. What do you think?
I think I will. I can probably call a couple of them right now. But
challenge accepted.
Being a professional is a huge part of it. That's what being in construction actually taught me to do, aside from getting paid to learn, right? So, learning the trade.
So Jess, what about you? What do you think? Why are skilled trades so important? Why is this Skilled Trades Alliance important to the world?
Well, I'll start with why it's important to me. There's some folks out there that say college is a bad idea. It's a bad investment. And then there's other people that say working in the trades is a bad idea. My line of thinking says it's yes, and you could do both. Very similar to what Big Al was talking about. I was able to discover the capabilities that I've been blessed with as a result of choosing a career in the trades. It was the ideal environment for me to grow and develop. And the reason I'm an advocate for careers in the trades, in the construction trade specifically, is because there's messaging out there that says go to college or flip burgers. And I was following that line of thinking. And I'll tell you what, man, had I gone to college, I don't know how to behave myself. I still don't know how to behave myself in an office. There's just not enough going on. I got to get out there and be loud. Had I continued to go down the classroom path, I would have been suffocated. And the environment I needed to really grow and exercise the skills that I had was the job site. It was not a classroom. What I want is for people to self-actualize and discover everything that they're intended to be. I don't think that's possible if they're not in the right environment. It's important to me that people understand that the construction site, the job site, is a nurturing environment to help these young men and women discover everything that they can possibly be. That's why the trades are important to me. Skilled Trades Alliance is all about making that happen. Go out there and highlight all the awesome things that people are doing, because there are amazing things that are happening. And then there's somebody else that's got an idea of trying to start something. Why don't we share and connect those people so we can accelerate all these magnificent things so that those young men and women can get out there and become the promise they're intended to be. That's why.
Wow, that was incredible, Jess. I love that. Covered the whole podcast. We're done. No, that was beautifully said. The skill trades are so important, and there is an overarching message of go to college or flip burgers, and starting to change. I think folks are starting to understand, especially we were just considered essential over this last year and a half. That tells me something that maybe society is recognizing that doctors can't heal people unless a craft worker or a skilled trade worker does their job first. You know, judges can't instill justice. Teachers can't teach. We are a critical part of society, and still people don't respect us. I have a huge issue with that. I like how you put changing the image of the skilled trades. To me, skilled trades are important. That respect factor is so important because we're not respected from the outside in. We've got to turn inside out.
I want to tell you a story that I was telling Jesse before, right? I'm in a hospital visiting a friend, and I'm in my blues. I'm in the field. I'm working. I'm a technician. I'm in the elevator with a doctor, and I said, and then he asked me, he said, "What do you do for a living?" I told him what I did. I'm an HVAC technician, pipe fitter, right? And he knew exactly what my trade was. He knew what it was. He knew what I did, and he said, "Man, that's awesome. I couldn't do anything in my job any day if it wasn't for you doing yours."
Wow.
That was a good job. You look at a plumber, you look at an electrician, so they make good money, and they do.
But it's not common knowledge, though. These influencers, like coaches and teachers and guidance, like they're telling them go to college, but it's our job as leaders to educate those people to say there are other options, like what Al's talking about.
Yeah, I'm in academia now. I come from trades. I still work in the trades. My students, they respect me a lot because they know that I'm still on job sites. Right? I'm still there. I'm out there doing things. And my connections with everyone else, with you guys, with other people. I don't push one or the other, the higher ed or the trade alone. Like, they're both good. But I'm going to talk about the trades because people are, sometimes try to downplay it. And that's, whoa. Stop right there. When you think about construction, I want people to say, that's the first place. That's not a second place. That's the first thing. I gotta go into a rant.
Hold on. Before you do that, let's just switch this. Hey, because we want to know who Al is. So I'm going to switch it up and we're going to dive in. Al, go on your rant. Tell the people who you are, where you come from. Let's hear it, man.
Started out, I came from the broken home, like I said, came from a certain type of area, but got out of that, transitioned, met good people that pulled me into construction and said, "Hey, young fella, come over here and do this." Right? Like Adam Lecter said, "Hey, young fella, come over here.
Come here, let me holler at you.
Come over here and do this and stay away from that other stuff," right? Yeah. I started at $9 transition. I was like doing cable for a subcontractor that wasn't even licensed at first and getting paid almost nothing for that. So when $9 an hour came, I jumped on it and I went from $9 an hour over the course of 10 years, right? And I transitioned from the helper, which is beneath the apprentice, if there's a position there, right? The helper to apprentice to by the way, I didn't know how to use a drill or a sawzall when I started.
Say that again?
I did not know how to use a drill or a sawzall when I started.
So you're telling me there is hope. We can get out there. We don't have to have this knowledge. We can learn that stuff on the job.
You can get out there. People are willing to train you. Like, I knew nothing. I was so green. And if anyone doesn't know the term for green, right? Green is like, zero. Okay. I was super green, but I had a work ethic. I was open to learn. I was open to be mentored. And I went from helper, apprentice, junior mechanic, journey person, shop steward, supervisor, foreman. I went up the ranks and I went back to school because I like reading, and that's transitioned me into other places. I just like reading. I'm gonna read the manual for the machine anyway, right? I'm gonna read a book on so forth and this and this and this. I'm gonna read Ernest Hemingway and Dutch. Hey, what's that book? I'm gonna read them. So that was my path, and I got out of a bad way that I was doing, and it just helped me transition in life, and I made really good money. I know other folks that weren't in the trade, and someone said to me, and again, I'm not down on higher ed, not one bit. I love higher ed. I really do. I also love it.
In fact, you work in higher education, right?
Yeah, I work in higher education. Did I mention that? I'm actually a professor of practice at a university in construction science and management because I have all the degrees and accolades for that now, which is awesome. That was like a personal goal. It's something I'm the first person to graduate college from my family. You know, it was never done before.
That's awesome, man. Tell us a little bit about the union, right? You're steam fitter 638.
Let me tell you, it's still crazy. And what I was saying before, people don't think that it's professional or it's educated. You know, you better think again, right? I've taught in trade schools and technical schools, and guys are like, hey, you know, I'm kind of more hands-on. Well, it doesn't work that way. You can't just be hands-on. You actually have to read this. These are educated people in the skilled trade. Like, you have to read manuals. You have to read flow charts and psychometric charts. These are things that you have to do. So there's a lot of education that goes along with it. I went to, 3.5 years of trade school. Mind you, I got paid to do it because I got into a union, which, unions up there in the Northeast, that's a lot of how it operates. And I got paid to do, but I had to go to school. I went to night school 2 nights a week.
I love it, man. Earn while you learn, put tools in schools. All these things are what we're encouraging. But it's Big Al, Hoots, and Jess. What are we going to do with this podcast from your perspective?
We want to reach out to all demographics, all different groups, all different ages, right? And encourage them and let them know that the trades are something to be seen as prestigious, right? I'm trying to get people involved. This is what I do on a regular basis every day anyway. And the Skilled Trades Alliance, that's just what I do. And I'm going to do the story of my friend.
Tell us, please.
Right? When she says to me, I don't want my son going into construction. And I said, whoa, why not? Oh, because she didn't even know why not. She has this stigma, this negative stigma in her mind about construction. And I looked at her and I said, hey, there's so many different positions. I transitioned from the trade into management, into supervisory roles, because I had leadership qualities. I had people around me that wanted to hone those skills. I made more money in the trade than this person did with her 4-year degree. Just what it is that she didn't want her son, which is 18 years old, getting into the workforce, and she didn't feel that he was for college. And she said, well, I want him to go to the military. I said, well, that's fantastic too. Get him in. If he wants to go to the military, get him in there. And he doesn't, get him into a trade. Let's figure these 3 options out for him. And she didn't want him in construction. I told her my salary last year. She said, what? I said, yeah. Said I was at 160,000.
From $9 an hour to $53 an hour, all the way to 100 and what?
Yeah, $77.50 an hour.
That's insane. These are serious numbers we're talking about, Al.
Yeah.
I love your story. You encourage and inspire me every single time we talk. You hold me accountable. You show up. I am honored to be doing this podcast with you, my brother.
And I love you too. And that's what the Skilled Trades Alliance is about, trying to promote, unity. It's unity.
I find this just gravitational pull when I'm talking to you or I'm talking to Jesse or Miss Jen Lacey or Jace, like any of these people. It's like, man, we all kind of think really similar. I find that to be interesting. So thanks, Al. I appreciate you so much. I want to kick it over to Jess now. I want to hear, Jess, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your story coming into the trades, where you've been, the why. Let us get to know this salsa dancing podcast and play.
Yeah, baby. What's going on? So I did mention I am a 2nd-generation plumber. My dad's a plumber, and we have a few plumbers in the family. Now, going back to high school, I was, or maybe I still am, a closet nerd. The academic stuff was easy. I was a smart kid. I just didn't know how to behave myself, really. I was in this multilingual program, which meant we were studying a 3rd language because the assumption was we already knew 2. One of the conditions of that program was that we could not take any vocational courses. All of our electives had to be college geared, which was fine, right? Because that was, you got to go to college.
There comes that message again.
Right. And that's 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Now, as I mentioned, I do have an energy that is not appropriate for the classroom. I ended up getting kicked out of the program, but what did happen was the school that I went to, the middle school and the high school that I went to, they had very high level classes, AP classes, and this sort of thing. And all of my friends, we were academically competitive. Even though I got kicked out of the multilingual program, I was still in a bunch of the classes with my friends. There was always this appetite for learning. I didn't know that you're like supposed to apply for FAFSA and you're supposed to, like, I was waiting for the Houston Astros. See, back then we didn't have social media, so the Astros couldn't, like, it was difficult for them to
Couldn't
find
get
me.
a hold of you.
Right, right. And so I was expecting colleges to come and say, hey, come to my school. I didn't know you had to apply. So the second semester of my senior year, and everybody's talking about going to school, and I'm like, well, I'm waiting. Like, they haven't called me yet. End of the year comes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go try and be a walk-on for Tyler Junior College. I got enough money to pay for the tuition, but I needed money for room and board. My dad, he was working commercial plumbing, and he said, well, I'll get you a job for the summer. You'll be able to save up enough money. We'll work it out going forward. It's okay, cool. Let me tell you, when I walked out on that job site, this is where I need to be. The physicality of the work, the problem solving, the thinking, like Big Al was talking about, it ain't just putting things together. We have to actualize what the engineers and the architects put down on paper. We've got to make that happen and overcome whatever constraints we're dealing with out there in the physical space with our mind and our body. It was the combination of that, the sensory input. You know, it's exciting out on a job site, man. You got heavy equipment, it's loud, there's competitiveness. You get, at the end of the day, I get to turn around and look at what the hell I did and give myself a thumb up or a thumbs down, because sometimes I was dragging my behind. I didn't go through the union apprenticeship. I went through a merit shop apprenticeship program. And what I did see around me that first year was most of my peers, the helpers, they were about 20 or 30 years older than me. And I remember asking Johnny Martinez, he was my foreman at the time. I was like, bro, like, I like this. And he's like, yeah, I know, I could tell you're good at it. I said, but I don't want to be 30 or 40 years old and still be a helper. Is that the way it has to be? He's like, no, absolutely not. Find you an apprenticeship program. So I did. I found an apprenticeship program. I was going to school a night, 2 nights a week in the evening and working full time, company paying for it. Because the book stuff was pretty easy, I was able to learn like the design of plumbing systems. I was able to learn the process of how the information got out to the job site. That equipped me for leadership roles. And then I got made a foreman before I had my journeyman license. I saw that as an opportunity to run the job and treat people the way I felt like they should have been treated, because there's a lot of jerks out there in the trade that don't want to teach and don't want to share the information.
A lot of them.
Lot. And so we got a long way to go. Like you said earlier, Adam, inside out, we've got some respect calibration to do. When I had the opportunity to run that job, I said, okay, I'm going to do it the right way, the best way I knew how. And so, you know, I mentioned it in my intro. All of a sudden, I realized that I had a responsibility and a larger degree of influence to change things for people. And so that took me down a route of exploring leadership and team development, team dynamics. I still haven't finished my degree. I started an associate's degree in constructions business management, and you know, maybe I'll finish it, maybe I won't. But I'm a ravenous learner, and so I dove into learning about that sort of thing. The company saw it; they invested in me and introduced me to the last planner system and all the lean stuff. And my career has evolved from being that helper, that gopher. And I wish it was $9 an hour. It was $6.15 an hour when I started. Yeah, man, it wasn't much. And so this little skinny troublemaking plumber from the south side of San Antonio went from that helper, that gopher at $6 an hour, to journeyman, to med gas certified, to master plumber, to leadman, to foreman, superintendent, general superintendent. I was responsible for training and development, wrote the program to transition installers to foreman and foreman to superintendent, because I lived that pain. I didn't have any training for it. They just said, hey, you're pretty good at hanging pipe. You're getting a promotion. And I sucked at being a foreman. And when I figured it out, they said, man, you're pretty good at being a foreman. You're a superintendent. And guess what? I sucked at being a superintendent. It was taxing on me as an individual, and it was expensive for the company. So I was like, man, we need to connect this. So we put some training together. Then I was responsible for recruiting. We rolled out the first ever trade-based internship program for kids under the age of 18, actually out on the job site working. Figured all of that out with a lot of help. Diana Huang. There was a slew of people that helped me make sure I wasn't going to get us in trouble. We made it happen. From there, I ended up being a regional lean manager for an enormous juggernaut of a construction company, general contractor globally, advising executives and helping problem solve and improve the workspace for everybody, to now director of environmental health and safety. All a result of me choosing that career when I was 18 years old, saying, I'm going to do something about this. To reiterate something Al said, it wasn't like I got to where I'm at because I showed up on time every day. That's terms of employment. You don't get a parade for that. You got to put some time in. And let me tell you, I put that time in. I had to learn. I had to get uncomfortable. I had to identify mentors. I had to sacrifice and I had to commit myself to it. And that is all possible in the trades. That's my story.
And Jesse, you've got a pretty amazing podcast out there too. How does that podcast plug into everything you just told us?
Thank you for that question. We got the Learnings and Missteps podcast, and that idea actually this month is going to be 1 year that we've been running.
Happy birthday to you. I'll save you the rest of the song for later.
I love it. I was traveling around the country, which is similar to what I do now, but I was a little frustrated because I get to spend time with talking to educators, parents, and students about careers in the trades, but because of the job, I was doing that less and less. And then when the pandemic hit, it was absolutely not an option because everybody's trying to figure out how do we do life now. I was watching a documentary on Danny Trejo, and he's an actor. He was talking about the reason he's an actor is not to be an actor. The reason he was an actor was so that he could fund his passion. And his passion is talking about recovery from addiction. He travels to prisons to speak hope into people's lives by sharing his story. My takeaway from that was, bro, I got no excuse. Here I am whining and moaning that I can't go talk to victim. Exactly. I can't go because pandemic, because my job. I said, man, I can put a podcast together so that I can speak to people about careers in the industry. I kicked around that idea. My co-host, Renee, who's my baby brother, we landed on what we need to do is we need to interview people that have built careers in the industry for the purpose of highlighting all the magnificent and enormous things that they do in their community, because it's very easy to think about the construction worker and we think about the big sweaty person with their butt crack showing and the safety vest on and cussing, spitting. We don't know what they're actually doing. Like both of you guys, y'all trade, but you're doing this Skilled Trade Alliance to affect change across the country. You know, Fernando, he's a biker. You look at him and he fits that bill. Big dude, biker, always wearing the Lokes. You know, he talks like West Side San Antonio, baby. That's a different way of talking. But you know what? At the same time, Fernando is a big part of a huge nonprofit here in San Antonio that does toy drives every Christmas for the kids in the underserved community. They do a fan drive every summer. Fans, give you some perspective. A fan drive for people box fan drive for people that live in our communities that don't have air conditioners so that they can cool themselves. That man dedicates his personal time to helping people in the community. You would never know that by looking at him. That's the purpose of the podcast, is so that we can get their stories out and celebrate them, and other people can understand, like, holy moly, when you're looking for that hero, you don't got to go to HBO, Showtime, or Hollywood. You could just go down the road to that job site, go down the road to that service truck or that service van, and there's a hero there for you.
Amen, brother. I love it. You get me so excited, Jess. I love your
It's
story.
a real hero. It's a real hero.
You got it.
Not a made up hero. It's a real hero. It's getting fans out there. It's getting jobs. You know, Jesse said something about us. You know, why do we want to push the narrative, right? Why does the Skilled Trades Alliance exist? Why are we trying to promote it, encourage it, get trades back out there? Why for me again? Because, you know, it helped me change. It helped me grow as a man. It helped me all these different things, professionalism, right? Education wise, money wise, right? My salary, I don't make bad money at all. And look at us, right? Three of us sitting here right now. You have to lift the tool. You have to, if you don't want to. You actually don't have to, right? At this point in your career. But we're coming back and we're saying, and we still do it anyway, because actually I love being on a job site. I love being outside. I don't want to sit in front of a screen all day long. I love teaching, but I like the camaraderie. I love teaching. I love being in front of people. I love seeing the light bulbs pop, right? And turn on when they learn something new, right? I love that. But we're promoting it because we see the opportunity for other people. We know what it did for all of us.
Yes.
We know what these things did for us. And each one of us came from working with our hands on the field. Still do it now, but when we don't have to. But that's what we want to get across to. That's what I want to get across to you guys do, right? The skilled trades line. You want to get that out there that, hey, this is something fantastic. You're going to make money. You're going to be educated. You're going to become a professional.
You're going to get
right?
in shape.
Yeah, man. You're going to have a great time. And, and we welcome everyone. We don't accept people. What I said to someone else the other day, Christy, like, doesn't matter who you are, what gender, what race, what anything, right? We want you all.
Doesn't matter where you came from.
This is unity here, right? We're going to go out there. We're going to sweat together, right? We might bleed a little bit together, right? We're going to work hard together. We're going to build that camaraderie. It was the perfect transition. People from the military backgrounds, right? People that are team players, right? Sports players. You want to sit in an office when you're used to doing out things out there? No.
So
you want to be out there.
Jess, I want to hit you with the question I hit Al with. What is the reason for this podcast we're doing now? Why are we doing another one?
The reason for this podcast, this episode is a launching point for Skilled Trades Alliance to bring us all together and have some major impact throughout every community in the country.
I love that so much. I'm going to transition into my story. I'll make it brief so that we can really talk about what the Skilled Trades Alliance is and how folks can get involved, because that's really the message. Like, I don't want to talk too much about myself, but real quick, I got a pretty funny story. When I was turned 17 years old, my dad gave me a gift. It was a big old box. It was professionally wrapped, a bow and everything. And I knew it was a new car. It was like a new set of keys. It was like a little box inside. I ripped that thing open and it was a hard hat, boots, vest. I thought like everybody else. I was like, I'm not doing this, Dad. I'm going to college. He's like, boy, you're going to get a job in the trades. And so I had a stack of job applications at the bottom of the box, and flipping through them, for whatever reason, I chose plumbing. And boy, did I regret that decision, because it was, the respect factor is big to me. And it wasn't there when they asked me to jump in some of these holes that contain human feces and other things that nobody should ever be touching. I didn't even respect myself, right? Driving that drive home. And so from there, I'm actually the least qualified skilled trade employee on this panel, because I just realized, like, man, Jess went through the apprenticeship program. Big Al went through an apprenticeship program. I didn't. I was just a plumber's helper for almost 3 years. And I had to go. I was like the gopher, go do this, go do that. And I, eventually got pretty good at it, experiential learning, and ended up doing takeoffs and things like that. I said, forget this. I'm going to college because I'm not respected here. I'm going to get a degree. I'm going to be an architect. I thought I'd be a lot more respected as an architect. Did that and realized theory is not for me. Wanted to get out of school as fast as I could. Got a degree in public and cultural communications. You're looking at a guy that's built $1 billion worth of buildings with a degree in public and cultural communications. That $1 billion is spread through 9 states. High tech, clean rooms, laboratories, life science. We're talking world's largest stem cell research. I was a part of a team that built where they housed the atomic clock for North America in Boulder, Colorado. I have been a part of Vaccine and Gene Therapy Institute in Port St. Lucie, where AIDS research, some really special things in this world. And so my message is we've got to respect the trade worker, and we've got to empower those folks to make decisions. They're closest to the information. I've worked for a couple of multi-billion-dollar construction companies. I've settled into this place of coaching construction teams. However I can get into the field and empower that frontline worker, I am all about it. My vision for this podcast is very similar to a presentation I did recently for a bunch of guidance counselors. I was dressed to the T, and I had like a 3-piece suit on, and it was workforce. And I walked up and I asked the audience, I said, what do I do? And I got nothing. And I said, come on, y'all, what do I do? Here I am. I'm dressed up, nice tie, clean, shiny. Then they started throwing it out. You're a banker. You're a lawyer. You're a doctor. And boy, was I getting mad. And everyone that they would say and they would guess wrong, I would take off another piece of clothing. And I didn't let them guess too much. Don't worry. But then I started replacing that clothing with my big muddy boots and my vest and my hard hat. Before you know it, the whole mood in the room shifted. I just wasn't respected anymore. That breaks my heart. You know, that's part of this go to college. It's part of this. The construction workers are making me late for my next meeting. There's a lack of respect there. It starts from, like Jesse said, like I mentioned earlier, our workers got to be respected internally before we can expect the external world to respect us. This podcast to me is a way for three professionals, as Big Al puts it, to come to you, help you understand our stories, share the wonderful things that are going on in this world from a building workforce perspective. There's folks like Bring Back the Trades and Rock the Trades and Empower Women and Construction Ready. And there's Construction Careers Initiative in Texas. Did I get that right, Jess?
Texas Construction Careers Initiative.
Thank you. There are so many amazing programs out there that we want to highlight. We want to bring somebody on at a minimum once a month. We're going to highlight an organization. We want to share their blueprint.
One of the things that you said, right? Skilled Trades Alliance, bring in people that are other teams that are promoting it together. And when we have those lines of communication open, we figure out how to make it better for the new incoming ones and the incoming people that are coming into the industry, ones that are already here. We want industry right now to start promoting it, right? To start getting out there, start giving it that good sound, that good feeling again. You know, I want to see plumbers say, "Hey, come over here and do this. This is awesome. You can do it." You know,
basically explaining our vision. I'm just going to read it for you. We want to create a united and respected culture within the construction industry where industry professionals have the same pride in their career as they do in their work. So those are big, big words. You know, that's
hold on. Say it again.
Yes. Yes.
Create a united and respected culture within the construction industry where industry professionals have the same pride in their careers as they do in their work. That's who the Skilled Trades Alliance is. We have worked really hard on that vision. We do understand the difference between a vision and a mission. And so let me just read you our mission, fellas.
Come on.
STA exists to engage, educate, equip, encourage, and empower a sustainable construction skilled trades workforce. We're approaching this with a bunch of strategy. We've got some unbelievable members. NCCER is a part of our organization. They're help driving the message. They're making banners. They're making presentations. They're writing blogs, all to celebrate the Skilled Trades Alliance because we're trying to connect the community. We don't have our own program to throw out there to the world. We want to highlight other folks' program and how special they are. What do you think, Jess?
That's what it's all about. You know, when you and I started talking about me being a part of the Skilled Trades Alliance, I was like, yeah, but I don't understand how I can help. But now when we were working on developing the vision and the mission, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I'm here for.
We're going to be action driven. That's one of the things NCCR said about why they're so involved with the Skilled Trades Alliance is because we drive action. We don't sit here and talk. We are not talking. We might talk to catch you up to where we are, but we're expecting you to be accountable to move this needle with us.
Mm-hmm. Another example of action is you and I talked about this podcast idea. What was it, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
Is that when you're telling me, hey, you're going to start a podcast and you're going to, yeah, I think that's how that went down, right?
Yeah, you know.
Let's take the team down the journey. The Skilled Trades Alliance started in 2019. We started as a subcommittee of RECAB, which is called the Regional Education Center for Advisory Boards. We help the Greenville County school systems get industry involved in curriculum. We help them just get an industry's mindset. We realized, this shortage of skilled trade workers, and we said, we got to do something. So we started as BCST, the Building Construction Skilled Trades Alliance. And we did a bunch of great things. We created this 365 tier model where we took this from the Manufacturing Alliance when they were trying to change the manufacturing. And so they said, we got to talk to each level couple of these. We have pre-K, we got 5th to 8th, 9th to 10th, 11th, 12th youth, and then we have post-secondary certifications, and we have adults, reentry and service and veteran. There are so many people that, Al, you said it earlier, the skilled trades, there's a spot for every single person. We prepared all that in 2019. We had big plans to launch in 2020, and then we all know what happened. I'm not even going to say the word, but canceled. We moved to this virtual presence of hosting Trade Talk Tuesdays. We've been very consistent. Al, I want to compliment you on even this past week. I was then taking a safety exam and I got a phone call from Al. Man, he was getting me like, where are you? So again, that holding people accountable level, like we are in this thing and we're going to make it happen. Here comes 2021. And so this is how we've been so far this year. It's been amazing. We had an advisory collaboration meeting in the fall. We had SC Day Exploring Careers, where we helped recap, get in front of Greenville County schools. We had our first summit series on veteran and reentry programs. And boy, did I learn a lot. What did you guys learn out of that? I guess, unprepared question, but what did you learn out of that summit series?
I'm going to say that my biggest takeaway is the demographics that were represented. We share a whole lot more than we think we do. There's a whole lot of commonality between us.
The overlap. Yeah, yep. I agree. That's a huge takeaway that I had. Al, anything you want to throw out there?
We're all listening to the same music. You grew up in different places, right? We're listening to the same music. We're more in common than we know in a lot of areas.
We're going strong. I love it. Can we go ahead and identify, in real life, let's show the team what we do. Let's be productive. Who are we going to bring on the show first? What do y'all think? Is it Steve Turner with Bring Back the Trades?
Yes.
I love it. Representing.
Yes.
So Steve Turner, challenging you right now, Steve. One, did you listen all the way to the end of the podcast?
So we got to see that, right?
And two, will you come on next month and tell us all about Bring Back the Trades, your scholarship programs, and can we spread your message worldwide? That's what we're after, Steve. Okay, y'all. Who's next? Who are we bringing on after?
Honestly, when you said the scholarships, I hope Steve watches. Put the applause on that. That's amazing stuff that he's doing. Amazing stuff. Getting scholarships to people that need them, to trade schools, to get into the trades. Oh, good.
Who do we want to bring on after Bring Back the Trade, Steve Turner?
I want to get the women in construction format.
So there's a program called Empower Women.
Yeah.
Construction. Yeah. There's also Angela Gardner and Tommy Jones and Tasha Sexton, Aubrey Davis. They all are in a women in construction program. It's actually right there out of your neck of the woods. I don't want to say the word because I'd blow your cover right now, but it's down close to Seneca, South Carolina, kind of in that vicinity.
I actually
They're playing Georgia today too.
Yeah, I met some of the young ladies, the women the other day. Fantastic. I told them if I could help them out in any way to promote what they're doing, to do anything for them, I would, because that's why I want to get the women involved.
Amen.
Right? We need them.
Right? Hey, we need everybody. We need.
We need everybody.
Yeah.
So those two different things, I want people to understand there's a difference in them. If I'm on a job site and I actually say the type of man that I am, and you guys can't, you see the different way, get at it. So get out the job site. You don't even need you.
So. Right? Yeah, I'm all about it, Al. Let's use these last few minutes here. I threw Why Not You Too, Kamani Davis. This is a chance for us to elevate a bunch of other people. Kamani's got to come on here and hang with us. Who else do we want to bring onto this platform and tell their story? Let's just start naming some people. Let's elevate some others right now.
I got two people. I'm going to throw out Miss Krista Ackles, who is an administrator for Construction Careers Academy here in San Antonio. That is a phenomenal program that gets high school students engaged into building their construction career. And also
Krista.
Krista.
Perfect. STA. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
she's got to come on soon. Who else you got, Jess?
The second person I got is Miss Sabra Phillips with Merrick Brothers, who's a drywall and framing contractor. Big players here in Texas for sure. You want to talk about a very well-developed workforce development program with partnerships with local high schools, with NCCER in-house DOL-approved apprenticeship programs that transitions kids right out of high school into apprenticeship, into journeyman, into foreman. They got it going on, and we need to get their secret sauce out to the rest of the country. Those are my two recommendations.
Amen. We got them on the list. So you just said a couple things, and it made me realize we dropped NCCR. We got to get Christina Dalton on here.
Oh, yeah.
She's amazing. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. One more, Christy Powell. Y'all know Christy. She's a member of, she's with 84 Lumber, and
Yep.
84 Lumber is
Yeah,
constantly empowering women, constantly empowering the next generation. The last one I'll toss out there, Tasha Ford with Construction Ready in Georgia. This program takes and
Oh,
yeah, they're training some fantastic people. I really love what they're doing. We got to hang out with her more because she is impacting so many people down there in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I think it's Cobb County actually. And so we got to highlight her. Who else? Who else do we need on here? Who are we missing now?
Well, guys, I want to say this at some point, right? I want to bring on some just, I want stage. I want stage folks coming on with us and just talking, giving us choices. Who better to hear it from? Remember, we might even be suits now at this point. Right?
Yeah.
I want to get these guys on here, these women on here, and share their stories about how they feel. And some young people. We got to get some young people on here and say, hey, what makes you a year in? How will you like it? Tell that side of it.
I love it. And so I just wrote it in real big caps right next to the other. We've got 9 names, so we got 9 months here filled out. I think we're locked and loaded, ready to go. At least to be able to highlight some programs. Now, Al, you also mentioned the potential of taking this podcast and maybe reaching out to some historically underserved communities, maybe trying to engage a kind of. We're talking about doing monthly highlighting programs, but I'd love to see you maybe consider this a challenge, Big Al. Take this podcast and let's do something. Let's reach out to folks and engage and teach and learn ourselves. What do you think?
Oh, that's the plan. I mean, I actually have a plan to have a couple folks that are celebrity friends that, a couple of them. I'm gonna try to bring them on. I'm not gonna name drop right at the moment, but I'm gonna try to get them out there to promote that thing because nowadays you see a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram, the phone. So I want everyone, I want people to realize that, hey, guys, by the way, we're celebrities.
Amen.
Right? No, remember,
I was going to say,
heroes, right? We're heroes, right, Jesse?
you
how
got
many
it,
more
baby.
celebrities could we get on one stage?
Oh, just one at a time.
We might break the internet with all this glowing sexiness coming through.
Hey, come on. Come on.
Love it. Love it so much.
You got it, Jesse. You got it up here perfect.
Right? Yeah, baby. Watch out.
It's the complete mismatch.
That's awesome. Well, guys,
hold on to your answer, your question is underserved. As I said before, the construction industry, 1.3 trillion.
11 million people in the United States and 1 in 6 worldwide is affected by the supply chain and construction. I learned that from Felipe, and these are people that we're talking about.
We need to get more underserved areas into the trade because 1, we need them.
Right.
2, they may need it. It's just a win-win across the board, and we can find a way to get that out there.
And Al, that's what great leaders do. Now us three, we just told our story, how we've been privileged to learn what we have learned.
Yeah.
I don't use that word lightly by any means. Us three now have a privilege of we've seen the construction industry and the path to a different place, a path to be able to enable respect. It's our job as leaders to pass that privilege, to help people understand how we got that privilege and to share that and tell the world about it and empower somebody else a vision so that they can make that happen. I love it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, sir.
But, we are, even though I've had a hard run at it sometimes, some instances over my 40 years, but I'm still privileged. Someone else had it harder. Other people had it differently. So I didn't have the way they have it, right? So, and because I'm capable of doing certain things, right? I worked hard for them, but there's a privilege. I got allowed to do certain things, obtain certain degrees, licenses, etc. I met the right person. I was lucky at this moment. I met Jesse. I met Adam. There's an amount of luck to that. I have that, and I have this power, and I have this outlet. I have this knowledge. I have a responsibility of giving it to someone else.
Al, hey, Big Al, can we say challenge accepted?
Challenge accepted. Sounds
Bingo.
good.
So we're coming up on the hour, y'all. You know, really what you want to recap it, want to kind of all of us end it with maybe a quick closing. I'm going to go ahead and give it first. Then maybe Al, you take it. And Jesse, I want you to carry us away. This is our first podcast. This is first of many. We are going to be dedicated. We are going to show up. We are going to be here to spread the word about the Skilled Trades Alliance. The whole mission there is to drive people to the skilled trades. It's to highlight the wonderful programs that are already going on throughout this nation. We want to unite the community around construction, building trades workforce. We want people to be educated about what the skilled trades are. We're going to do this relentlessly. We have a diverse group right here with us. We need to engage the underserved, the historically underserved communities. And that's age, race, sex, whatever that is. Like, who is not being served? Who does not have that same privilege? How do we spread that and share that and enable them to make that happen? That's my take on today. I had so much fun with you guys. I'm so thankful. Al, what do you got from a summary perspective?
I think you closed it out perfect right there, brother. To
I
be honest with you, Jesse, I don't know how you do it much better than that, but we're going to stay dedicated and we're going to keep working. We're going to keep pushing the Skilled Trades Alliance and trying to unite the industry and the other organizations that's doing the same thing, like-minded. We're going to keep working with them and getting people involved. And hopefully we give a lot of people the chance to come on here and let their voice be heard. That's the goal right now. And that's not going to stop. And it can't stop. You know why it can't stop? Because once you build it, you got to keep it going. If you don't keep it going, it falls away again.
In the building industry, we call that maintenance.
O&M, baby, O&M.
Yeah.
O&M.
The energy that I've got from the two of you, I'm going to be on fire today. Whoever's got to deal with me the rest of the day, they're going to get sick of my energy. For the folks out there that are taking in this message, I hope that you catch the same energy that I've got from these two gentlemen here, Mr. Hoots and Big Al. I know it's a time commitment just to listen. And if we spark that fire in you, it's an even bigger time commitment. I want to express gratitude first for you taking the time to take this message in. And second, for all the time that you're going to start spending and spreading the good word about the Skilled Trades Alliance. Thank you also for the opportunity to serve, because that's what we're here for. We are here to serve. I'm grateful for that.
Hey, Jesse, can I say, I said to someone a long time ago, I said, if I don't try to help other people in my life, to me, the person, I'm never going to mean much because I'm fine. You know, my career, I'm fine. Being in construction, I make money. It's good. I'm okay. But that's not all it is to me, right? And that's one of the things that I want to do. That's why I push these narratives, push these things, because I don't have to. I love it. I want to see everyone else be good. And I truly, in my heart, see our industry as something that is great and provides a lot to anyone. That's what we're about, I think, right?
So
yeah.
We're off to build it with Jess, Big Al, and Hoots, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Until next time.